You ever look at your bank account and wonder, where the hell did all my money go? Not because you were buying expensive things, but because everyone seemed to need something from you. Birthday presents for every niece, nephew, cousin, every kid in the family. Seriously, where the hell did all these kids even come from? Hosting every holiday because you have the bigger house. Airport pickups or helping people move because you have the SUV or the truck. None of that feels like emotional spending, but that's exactly why it's so expensive. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the ways emotional spending could be showing up in your life, the cost of always saying yes, and at the end, I'll share with you the one that cost me the absolute most. My name is Stephanie. I paid off over $180,000 in debt, and now I'm building financial independence in real time. Let's get into it. For me, the first place it showed up was family. You buy birthday gifts for your kids. A few weeks go by, your niece's birthday comes up, then your nephew's, then your friends. And then another few months go by, and here come the holidays. Christmas rolls around, and all of a sudden, your shopping list is longer than your grocery receipt. And every year, it gets bigger and bigger. Friends' kids, your kids' friends at school, your kids' teacher, treats for your kids' class. And the strange part is, I never really noticed it because it didn't feel like spending. It felt like being a regular mom, a normal aunt, a good family member. And when something feels tied to everyday normal spending, you stop evaluating it. You just do it. The money leaves your account and you never really ask why. And for a long time, I thought that was the only place emotional spending was showing up. It wasn't. Because gifts only happen a few times a year. This next one was happening all the time. Then there's the house. We had the bigger house, the fenced yard, the extra room. So what does that all mean? You guessed it. We were automatically the hotspot for everything. Easter was here, Thanksgiving was here, Christmas was here, birthday parties were here, summer barbecues were here. And when you're the host, you're not just opening up your home. You're buying the food, the drinks, the desserts, the paper plates, the extra folding chairs. And before any of you say, well, my family helps out with that stuff. Sure, they do sometimes, but are they helping with the prepping, the planning, the cleaning, all the little things that no one really notices? Because those count too. One event by itself doesn't seem expensive, but when you're the default host year after year, it starts to add up. The party only lasts a few hours. The credit card bill, that sticks around a whole lot longer. But at least with hosting, I could see where my money was actually going. The next one was a lot harder to spot because it didn't even feel like spending. Then there's the role I didn't even think about as spending. Need a ride to the airport? Call me. Need help moving? Call me. Need someone with a truck? Call me. Need someone with an SUV? Call me. And look, it's not like anybody was trying to take advantage of me. I had simply become the reliable one. Because when you're always the reliable one, everyone stops looking for solutions. You are their solution. Gas, tolls, wear and tear, lost weekends. None of it really felt like spending because I wasn't handing anyone cash. And here's the weird part. None of these ever felt like I made a mistake. I wasn't pissed off for buying the birthday gift or annoyed helping my friend move. So if I was happy to do all of those things, why was I feeling so exhausted? Hey, I'm going to interrupt myself for a sec. If you've been nodding your head on most of these, hit that like button so that this video reaches out to other people going through the same thing. Okay, let's get back to it. But here's the part that took me the longest to understand. The gifts weren't the problem. The hosting wasn't the problem. None of the favors I was doing was the problem. The real problem was what happened every time when I started to think about saying no. I felt guilty. If I didn't buy the gift, I felt guilty. If I didn't host, I'd feel guilty. If I couldn't help somebody when they asked, I'd feel guilty. And that guilt was costing me money over and over again. Because every time I had to choose between disappointing somebody or saving money, I chose to just spend the money. Because spending the $50 just felt a lot easier than explaining to somebody why I couldn't help them. And that's when I started to figure out what was the thing that was costing me the most. And it wasn't something I could return or cancel like a subscription. It wasn't even something I could see. And eventually I realized something. The most expensive emotional habit. It wasn't the holidays. It wasn't helping people. It wasn't gifts. Those are just the symptoms. The thing that was actually costing me the most money was a belief I didn't even know I had. It was the belief that keeping everyone else happy was somehow my responsibility. That if somebody was disappointed based on my response to them, I somehow failed them. Because when you're always saying yes, everybody else gets what they want. And eventually you stop asking what you want. So the biggest realization for me was this. I wasn't spending money because I was glad to help. I was spending money because I was uncomfortable just telling people no. I wasn't making spending decisions. I was protecting an identity. I needed to be the helpful one, the reliable one, the one everybody can count on. And every time that identity felt challenged, I just opened my wallet. And once I understood that, I stopped asking, can I afford this? And started asking, am I doing this because I want to? Or because I'm just too afraid to say no and disappointing somebody? And that one question changed everything. I'm not responsible for everyone else's happiness. Everybody is responsible for their own lives. So me saying no, it's just me saying no. I'm not telling them that they're not worth something if I say no. They know I still love them. They know I still care about them. And when the reverse is happening, where I ask somebody for something and they tell me no, I'm not taking it personally. If they say, oh, hey, I can't do this, thing to help you out with because, I got to, be at work at a certain time, or I got to go pick up my kids. I wish I could help. I'm not taking it personally. And I'm like, oh, well, they don't care about me anymore. No, I don't think that. But for some reason, I thought about it being that way for me. So with that new thought process, I'd had to check myself to say, hey, you're allowed to say no too. Because a yes that you choose feels a lot differently than a yes that you feel obligated to. And that's how I stopped my emotional spending. Not by becoming selfish or cutting people off, but by making sure that yes actually belonged to me.